very good morning to everyone, to all of our attendees here. So, welcome back for another episode of Microsoft 365. So, today we are going to talk about in depth of what are the features we have in Microsoft and what we can do among our teammates and everything. Okay, all right. So, without delaying any further, welcome you guys. And my name is Kishan Kumar. I'm from VLAN Asia. So, I'm certified Microsoft engineer for past 4 to 5 years, and I've been doing this onboarding training for more than 4 years or so. So, all right, so let's jump in. So we have prepared some slides for you guys, but like I mentioned in the previous session, so I'm not a fan of slides, so we will go through the slides roughly, but then it will be more on a live demo or session, like how we can utilize the features and what are the things we can do um, in Microsoft 365 apps, right? All right. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is basically Microsoft Loop. So Microsoft Loop is a enhanced it's a tool where we can collaborate among our colleagues and also keep track of all the projects or maybe brainstorming ideas and stuff like that, right? So exploring Microsoft Loop. So what is Microsoft Loop? Like I mentioned, it's basically a collaboration tool designed for your departments or for your groups and stuff like that, right? And also, it basically integrates seamlessly within Microsoft applications, right? You can access Microsoft Loop in Microsoft Teams as well. So we will go through and see what are the things we can do on Loop, right? The slides will be shared to you guys, so no worries on that. And I won't be keep talking on each points here, right? So what are the key features of Microsoft Loop? So again, it's basically real-time collaboration. So whatever we add there within the Microsoft Loop groups or templates inside there, basically it will be notified to the group members via email if let's say we mention them over there. So bear in mind, we have to mention them in order to for them to get an notification, right? And then basically it's a task management feature to keep track your daily updates or your project updates and everything, right? So these are the key features of what we can expect from Microsoft Loop to keep track of our daily tasks and projects and stuff like that, right? So what is the benefit of using Microsoft Loop that you guys might be getting? So you can improve your team communication, right? So you don't have to be like get confused where you keep your project tracker, or maybe last time you might be updating through Teams chat, right? And in a random chat box and everything. And when you want to refer back, it might be very difficult for you, right? You can use this Microsoft Loop, right? For you to keep track easily. And even if, let's say, a new joiner comes in, you can automatically assign them the membership and they can see all the past and also future projects and stuff like and all the updates, right? And also support flexible working environment for better capability. So capability and also adaptability here. So you can actually utilize this through web and also from Microsoft application. But for the full functionality, you have to use it through web because they don't have any um, standalone application for Loop. So it's totally from the web base, right? Okay. So so basically, yeah, it provides tool for effective project tracking, like I mentioned, right? All right. So there are some use cases that you can use Microsoft Loop, right? So what will be the use cases, like I mentioned earlier? So for example, if you have a new project coming in, so you want to keep track of the project, progress of the project, or the date and timeline, what type of project is that, so and everything. So you can utilize this Microsoft Loop. You can where you can create a table, you can insert the company's name, you can basically add the category of that particular topic of that project and so on, right? So, and that one of the scenario for project management. Okay, another scenario. Okay, so all this I'm actually talking based on what we have been utilizing. So I'm just not reading the slides there. So the second scenario, if let's say you would like to update your quarterly priorities. So you can use Microsoft Loops as well, where you can update your quarter 1, quarter 2 priorities. Like you can create your tables, you can use it as a presentation hub as well. So instead of using PowerPoint slides, you create slides and everything. You can just use Microsoft Loop, where you can create a table, right? A table, and also you can update all those key details inside there, right? And to basically do the presentation, right? And also, what else we can do? We can coordinate tasks. Just like I mentioned, we can coordinate and keep tracking all the tasks with these use cases, right? So, as a conclusion, we haven't go to the conclusion yet. Okay, all right. So now let's look into a brief of what we have in Microsoft Loop, like how we can utilize it, right? Okay, so how do you access Microsoft Loop is that you can go to loop.cloud.microsoft. Okay, so or you can just go to your portal, so which is your web portal, go to Microsoft dot of portal.office.com, or you can go to Microsoft365.com, right? And then you can click on this particular app here, and then you can search for Loop. If it's not there, you can just search it over here, right? You will be able to see Microsoft Loop, right? Okay, so there's slight difference here for those who are using Business Basic, and also for those who are using Business Standard. So there's some license difference there. For Business Basic users, Loop is there, but then you won't be getting the full access of Microsoft Loop under Business Basic, right? Whereas if you are using Business Standard, then definitely whatever you see here, you will be able to use it, right? Okay, so this is the Loop first page, like the dashboard, right? So from here, basically, you can see this is our all these our existing projects and ideas, onboarding trainings, and everything. This is what we have been using, right? If let's say you are a Business Basic user, you won't be able to access Workspace. So you will be not be able to create a new workspace, but then you will be able to create components and pages. So that's the difference between standard and also basic, right? You can create basic users, you can create components. So components means it's basically it's not an entire new workspace. You can just uh, create a certain pages, like for example, so this is a workspace where you can create multiple workspaces, right? So if you go inside the workspace, right? So this is what we call components. So you can create one or two components inside there. You can create separate components, but you cannot build a workspace and build a component inside there. That's the major difference there, right? All right. So like I mentioned earlier, so this is how been we have been using it, like I mentioned, to keep track all our daily updates, to keep track our project updates, right?
Hello?
So
Hello?
sorry for that. Yeah. All right. So basically, this is how we can actually utilize um, project Microsoft Loop, right? So to keep track of projects and stuff like that. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the basic. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a new project, like we call it as new workspace, right? So you can give a name, right? For example, I'm gonna give a name called webinar, right? So you can share your space with anyone, right? You can share your space with anyone among your departments, right? So for instance, I'm going to share this to um, Alice. So he's one of the members, right? So I'm going to share this to Alice, and I'm going to create it. So the moment I share this to Alice, basically, Alice will have access to the same exact workspace here, right? So if in case you want to add future users of into this particular page, you can always click this share, right? You can see you want to share the workspace or whether you want to share the page link or the loop component. So you can um, share based on what the user requires. So if let's say the user requires the entire workspace, the webinar workspace, then you can just choose workspace. If just the component, for example, one particular component, then you can just choose component and give it access to the specific person, right? So from here, you can basically see who is the member. So he has this editor role. So you can remove him from workspace or you can pass him the ownership as well, right? Or you can add members or invite members as well. So that's how membership works here. So at first it stays as untitled. So for example, so I'm going to change webinar 2025. So the moment we change that, so it will change the component's name as well, right? So that's how you can change the name and add the users. Okay, next up, we have, you can see there's Copilot features here where you can set up a page with Copilot. You can reuse a page, you can do all this stuff. Okay, the reason you can see this, the Copilot features here, is because my account is actually using Copilot license. So I'm entitled to use of these features. But on your end, you might not be see this feature over here, right? So what you will be able to see, you will be seeing some templates at the bottom, right? Let me just show this. So this is the exactly a new one lah. So how you're gonna use it. So from here, you can actually I can use Copilot here, right? Again, it says Copilot. So never mind. Okay, so you can see use a loop template. So for you guys, you will be able to use these templates, like predefined templates. So for example, if it's for a meeting notes purpose, you can use it, right? So it already gives you what are the required tables or topics. Like for example, you require a topic and then you require the attendees and what are the roles, agendas and notes and tasks. So it's basically a template where you just need to edit the words only. You don't have to um, change the entire template there, right? So, but there's a lot of templates that you can use, right? You can actually go through and see you based on what's your need, right? You can utilize based on that, right? So from here, we are not going to use any templates, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to just create on our own. So then from here, so we're gonna click add. So once you click add, you can see basically what you want would like to add. You if let's say you want to add a table, you want to add a checklist, you can go ahead. So in this scenario, let's add a table. So from here, so maybe I'll put title, and then from column two, I'm gonna change saying presenter, right? Yeah, presenter title, and then okay, present by whom? Okay, so maybe the title Microsoft 365 apps. So when it comes to presenter, you can basically change how you require this particular column to be. So you can see there's change column type. So you can put it as text. Text means just a normal text. You have to text on your own there, right? You can put it as number, you can put it as data, person, word, or you can even label it, right? Okay, now since I'm gonna target to a specific person, so I'm gonna change it to person. So now when I type a specific user's name, it will give all the users name existing in my organization, right? I'm gonna set it as Kishan, right? So once we set Kishan as the first presenter, then basically Kishan will receive an email, right? So it doesn't matter, even if you mentioning your own self, you will still receive a notification, right? So that's how it works. So let's just check. So you can see here, I received an email saying, "Hi Kishan, mention yourself in a loop component." Right? Okay, got it. So I can see what is the topic about, where am I mentioned, stuff like that. So even if let's say some of your colleagues or someone mentioned you in a loop component, right? You will receive a notification saying, "Hi Kishan Kumar, Khalis has mentioned you in this component." So you can see where and why Khalis mentioned you, right? So that's how we can actually utilize this loop. And then if let's say you want to add more here, right? Okay, so yes, okay, so you can add more column. So maybe in this column, just put progress, right? Like I mentioned earlier, you can set I mean like change the column type, right? So change column type, and then you can choose numbers or words, or you can put label as progress or priority. So let's just choose progress, right? So you can see by default there's not started, there's in progress, completed, off track. So you can add another one. Maybe you want to call it a cancel, right? So from next onwards, you can see all the new, including the new tracker as well, right? So that's how you can use the progress option there, right? So I'm gonna add even further, what I'm gonna talk here, maybe date, right? So we need to know when is the date of that specific training. So go back here, so I can put date. So here it will generate a calendar where you can select the date and everything, right? So I'm gonna choose this date. So today is the training, and then in progress. So you can see while I'm changing the progress, at the bottom, it keeps changing as well. So if let's say there's another one, so example, I just put security training, and then I just mentioned Alice. Okay. So and then it's actually not started, and then for example, I'm just choosing it on me. Okay. So here you can see that I'm mentioning Khalis. So once there's two-person that already work on a certain project or working on a certain project, you can see their names at the bottom. So if let's say you already finished like 20, 30 projects, right? You can see how many projects Kishan has completed, or how many Khalis has been done, and then you can see whether number of progresses and whether it's completed or not. So you can see the numbers at the bottom. So it's actually live generation bell happening there for your data collection, right? Okay, so you can add multiple pages. So no problem on that. So you can add multiple pages depending on what's your need, right? So if let's say you might be have question, can I share this to an external person? Okay, so sharing to external person, it's possible, but then at the moment, it has some issues because I've tested it when we share it to externally. In some cases, it works. In some cases, we can access the loop page, but then we don't get the full functionality of the loop because of, they might not be having the proper license, or they are not from Microsoft environment and sort of thing, right? So, but like even in my slides, if you guys realize, we did not talk about any external access, because in order to get the full functionality of Microsoft Loop, it's better to use it internally. If let's say you want to use it externally, then you might need to use Planner for it. So there's different apps for different collaborations. So this is mainly for internally, for inside your organization, right? So that's how you can create a new one, right? And then you can see the notification here. So this is my past notifications, like who mentioned me on which date and stuff like that, right? On a different workspace, right? And then under recent, you can see like whichever trackers that I've opened recently, right? And if there's any meeting notes, so we don't use this for meeting notes, right? So, and then workspace, you can see all the workspace that I have here, right? I can open a switch back anytime as soon as possible, right? Okay. So, so that's how we can actually create a Microsoft Loop um, workspace and also components within the workspace in order for us to collaborate with our team, and we can add them or remove them, give them ownership and stuff like that. And we can get an email notification when somebody is mentioning us inside the loop component, right? So that's about it on our scenario here. All right. So that's the use cases that we can utilize on Microsoft Loop. So if let's say you are expecting something like in a bigger picture, like what else we can use on Loop, like whether I can do some automations or not. Oh yeah, I actually mentioned that we can access Loop components from our teams, right? All right. So so when you see here, there's Loop, right? From this is my teams. So when you open it, so basically we can access Loop from here. So okay. So basically I can see that Microsoft has integrated Microsoft Loop directly in Teams because previously, okay, let's just open before we discuss anything further. Okay, yeah. So it still brings you to the web browser for you to access your loop, but then you can actually see what are the components, what are the things are there inside your loop. But then in order to get a full access of loop, it will still redirect you to the web-based feature. Last time is just that we can mention or we can copy the entire loop into a chat, right? For example, let me just go into one of the loop. Okay, so you can see there's loop component here under each chat. So under a loop component, I can add a title. This is basically um, a loop component which we create within the Teams chat with one of our colleagues, right? So you can even create it from here, and I believe we can. All right, yeah. So basically, we can create it from here, or if let's say you want to there are some of users that they prefer to use it in the Teams chat instead of having it on the browser and stuff like that. But then, which is it's not recommended, right? So you can actually right. Let me see. So I'm copying the entire thing, and also I'm pasting. Okay, okay, so it's not pasting up, so it's no longer there. So last time, basically what we can do, we can actually paste those tables and everything on a loop component, but now it's no more there. So it's a good thing because it's not ideal for anyone to copy and keep it in the chat area. So it might, having synchronization issue, right? So you can still create a new loop component within the chat. So from here, you can actually collaborate with your colleagues. Huh? So that's how Microsoft Loop can be integrated within Microsoft Teams apps and also on the web. But to get the entire clear picture of what Loop can do, it's better for you to use it on the web, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. All right. So as a conclusion, on the collaboration with Microsoft Loop, basically, it's a transformative tool for teams, right? Not Microsoft Teams, it's for our team, right? So for us to collaborate with our all the project trackers or any um, it's basically a tracker lah. If you ask me, it's a tracker. Even like even in VLAN, like our project team, our development team, so we use this components to keep track of our quarterly planning and what are the upcoming projects and what's the status. And we also, if let's say we engage in a big project, what we do, we prepare a proper checklist in our loop, and we use that checklist as a update to our customer lah. So these have been done, what have been done, and all those things, right? So basically, organization can achieve better results with group. So that's what Microsoft believes, and that's what we believe as well. So you can achieve uh, better results with Microsoft Loop there, right? All right. So proper implementation can lead to successful teams. So yeah, like what is proper implementation? There's no any admin side implementation. It's basically your ideas, right? So your proper idea, like a structured loop, will look nice to for everyone, right? So when it's nice, we love to use it. So that's the idea that they've been mentioning there. All right, so let's move to the next topic. So maximizing productivity with Microsoft Planner. So Planner is almost not almost like little bit same of what Loop can provide, but Planner is something that can provide us a little bit more with the with a data chart and also some tables and kind of things. So we will show you guys like how it's done and how we can actually see all the data and numbers. So Microsoft Planner is a task management application. So similarly, it's a task management to what Loop can be done. So fine, we'll just forget about Loop, like move on to the next one. So it's another task management application here, right? So basically, it enables teamwork throughout your project planning. So and also users can create and design tasks easily, right? So planners can be integrated with Microsoft 365. Yes. So that's the flexibility of having Planner. Planner can be integrated within Microsoft apps very easily. So seamlessly it can be added, right? So it enhances productivity as usual, like any task management application. That's the main goal. It must enhance my productivity. So I want to, just assign the task and then somebody, whoever I assign the task, they can go and see. So I don't have to go to the person and explain all the things and everything. And then later on they say, hey, when did you tell me? I didn't get any information. We don't need all those nonsense anymore, right? So yeah. So what's the key features? Yeah. So it's user-friendly interface. Yes, it is user-friendly. And then task assigned with deadlines. Yeah, you can use the deadlines and everything. Collaboration, such as comments and file attachments. Yes, you can actually comment and attach files and everything, right? So mobile accessibility, yes, Planner can be accessed from your mobile, and even Loop you can install on your mobile. So they have their application on mobile where you can install Loop and you can change and update from that itself. So benefits of using Microsoft Planner. So yeah, enhanced project visibility. Yes, anyone can see it, right? What are the project has been assigned to each person, and support remote work and hybrid teams. Yes, if you are a company from or like your background is basically from working from home, they encourage you to work from home and everything. So you can use this planner. So that's what we did when long back when we had COVID, right? So we use these planners where we keep track all the daily updates within our support team. So what are the tasks that's been done, or what are the tasks we're gonna do the next day. So it's easier for us to remember what we're gonna do, and easier for our HOD to basically show it to the management, saying, so you can see these are the tasks that my team members are working over the week, right? This is what we have and what has been done, so on and so forth, right? Okay, so use cases for Microsoft Planner. So basically, project management, event planning, so tracking, even your daily task tracking can be done. So the best part of Planner is you have a group planner where you can add multiple group members, and you have your personal planner as well, right? So let's go and have a look at how we can utilize planner. Right. So there's two places that we need to consider for planner. So the first place is basically from the web, right? It's basically the main area where we can get the entire features. And the second one is basically how we can integrate Planner within Microsoft Teams, right? So First, let's look at as an overall of what planner can give us. Right. Okay. So this is basically my task. Basically assigned to me. So whoever assigned to me or I assigned to myself from which department and stuff and all those things. Right. So you can see it's coming from different planners, right? Project plan and then the task, daily task, and so on and so forth. So that's can see, right? So and you can see most of it as actually I already marked task as incomplete. So basically all completed. So if let's say that's why you can see the underline mark of the task completion, right? So under private tasks, you can see that I have some private tasks which is completed, and there's one I haven't check mark as complete yet, right? So all these are under grid view, right? So we have board view. So there's different board views, like you can see not started, in progress, and what has been completed, right? So that's on board view for my task. All right. So under my day, so for today, I didn't add any task yet, right? So under board, there's nothing as well, right? So since ever since we moved to Loop, we like kind of like stop using Planner already. Everything we update to Microsoft Loop, right? So my plan. So under my plan, you can see there's adoption training, which is only you. So basically only myself inside there. So and then Gantt chart, only you, and then there's the rest of the planners which are under shared. Shared means basically it's coming from Microsoft Teams from this particular group department, right? Okay. So my portfolio. So you can add your portfolios like multiple plans and stuff like that. All right. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at new plan, right? So as usual, Microsoft always very kind to us. They prepare all the templates, right, for us to um, start as soon as possible, right? You can use project management or you can use sprint planning, marketing campaign, business plans, right? So let's just try for maybe project management. So under project management, you can see there's basic, there's premium. So under premium basically includes all basic views and stuff. So it's a bit um, I would say advanced. So under benefits also you can see there's only structured conceptualization, systematic planning, keep track. But when it comes to premium, so it gives additional assess customer satisfaction and also organize your action plan and kind of stuff, right? So let's use template. So yeah, I'm gonna just use it as project management. So adding to a group. So you have to decide whether it's for you alone or you want to add it to a specific group, Microsoft 365 group. If it's something for yourself only, then you don't have to add it because it's just an optional for you to add. So you can create. So usually when you use templates, basically it will take some time for it to create, unlike the basic templates. So I mean like the basic one is just an empty planner. So it can be created as soon as possible. Like when we use template like predefined templates, it takes some time, like maybe few minutes, right? So let's see how long does it take. Um, so it do take some time. So that's it. Meanwhile, just open another panel. Click create. Okay. So from here, we will just create the basic one. Okay. So you can see when it's basic, it can be created as soon as possible, right? But when it comes to a template, it takes a while. But then it's not that okay, my laptop is hang or the app is not working. It's not like that. It's basically it takes time because they are predefining everything inside there. So it will take plenty of time. So we'll just move on and look at our basic planner here. So usually, like how you can utilize it. When the moment you create it, it will give you a to-do list and also add a new bucket, right? So it's on your own idea. So like last time, how we utilize this is basically we change the buckets into users name. So we change it to users name, right? And then so this is how we actually utilize when we work from home, so that we can keep track all the tasks that we're gonna work, right? So for example, under Kitchen, Microsoft 365 training. So we will set a due date and then assign to, since it's me only, I did not share to anyone. I can't even see my name also. Okay, so because it's automatically assigned to me because only I'm inside here. So all right. So is that all what we can add? No. So once you create the name, you have to double click on it, right? So it will open a small page for you, right? So whereas you can add under users bucket, so you can see I can transfer this to a different users bucket as well. So if let's say I want to transfer this to Kali's bucket, right? So now you can see it's under Kali's bucket, right? And then you can add label. So you can just change maybe the pink color, you just change it to different labels and stuff like that, right? Maybe I'll use it as training label, right? So once I change that, just enter and then I'll use this training label. All right. And then in progress, you can just choose whether not started, in progress, or completed. Progress. So you can choose priorities, right? Maybe important. So you can put a start date. So you have a due date, you have a start date, right? And then whether it's repetitive or do not repeat, it's up to you. And then you can even add checklists as well. So for example, what are the topics we're going to do now? We have loop, and then we have planner, and then we have forms, and also last we have approval, right? So I can add this checklist, and when I close this, so I can see all the checklists over here. So right now we already complete loop, and also we are almost completing planner. So I can check that, so it will show that 2 out of 4 has been completed, right? So just imagine I'm HOD of this particular department. So when I come and see here, I know that okay, Kali is currently doing training and is already completed 2 out of 4. So there's 2 more to go. And maybe there's another task over here, troubleshooting a user's PC. So at least we know that what are the tasks they are working on. So once it's completed, you can check this, right? It will go under completed tasks. So you can see what are the tasks that's been completed over here under Kali's name, right? So that's on planner over here, right? And at the top here, you have grid view, you have board view, right? We call this as whiteboard, board view. And then we have schedule. So under schedule, it's basically a calendar where you can see the date, like which are the dates that have been completed on the task and everything. Okay, chart. So chart is what I've mentioned. So basically, you can see um, a chart here where the number of tasks remaining. So maybe we'll just add some tasks, right? Set due date, maybe I'll just put a different due date, right? Okay. And then maybe underneath so maintenance. So, okay. So maybe we'll just put a different due date. Start date was last week. Maybe due date is the following week, something like that, right? Okay, and close it. So there's one completed and then two remaining tasks. So now let's look at chart. So now you can see there's two tasks left, not started yet. So one is completed. And then under bucket, you can see under kitchen there's one, under colors there's one, here got one. And then under priorities, you can see there's important one, and then the rest is medium. And then member is unassigned. So not started, so kitchen completed. So you can actually keep track all the charts over here, right? And then even you can go for timetable. So convert this to a premium plan. Then only you can change this basic plan to a premium plan and have access features like timetable, people, goal, and more. So there's more features there, but then you have to change this particular project plan from basic to premium plan, right? So you can see this is still creating, so it takes plenty of time, right? So that's fine. So we have to transfer this to a premium plan. Then only we can see much more advanced features, right? So, but for basic users, basically you can have until chart, so which is good enough already, right? So in case now you want to share this project tracker to someone, you can always choose this add option. So you can create a group, or you can add this to existing group. So you can add this to a different group, for example, to Microsoft Teams, any groups over here, right? So I'm not gonna add that. Okay, so we have project tracker under my plan. All right. So you can copy link to plan, export plan to Excel. So yeah, you can always export this plan to Excel, right? So you can actually add plan to Outlook calendar as well. So you can see, even though I put this Microsoft training, all this under different user, but then you can see the assignment is basically from me, right? Because I did not share this to anyone else. It's only for myself. So that's why I can only see mine, right? Even Carlis or Nisa, they will not be able to see this because we create it for my plan only, right? So similar thing. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna integrate this within a Teams group. Okay, similar concept. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add this to an existing group. So let's just add this to, let me just quickly go and check. Okay, we have test two. Okay, I'm a part of it. Okay, all right, cool. So we're gonna add this to test two, right? And then add. So nice job, done. Okay, so now we will go back here. Then just press. Just barely take some time. Basically, I think I just need to close Teams and then reopen it back. But then I'm not gonna do that. I'll leave this call, right? So basically, we can add directly from there. So it should be able to add it over here, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a planner, right? Yeah, I'm gonna planner. So create a new plan or add an existing plan. So we can add an existing plan as well. So existing plan, project tracker, add to the channel. So whatever we have in our project tracker, so this is how we can add directly to this particular group. So now automatically whoever has access to this particular group, right, under manage teams, so I can see under this channel members. So you can see there's two of us. Like even though I'm a member, I can still add that because I have that I have that setting given by the owner, right? So even members can do this function. So under project tracker, so all the members can see and all the members can add now, right? So for instance, if let's say I would like to change this to the owner's name, you know, so I can do so. And then when it comes to assignment, so you can see now there's two suggestions. Earlier, earlier there was only one suggestion, which is my name because the planner is actually associated under my plan only. Now, since it's under this particular group, so I can mention myself because I'm a member, and I can mention my owner of this particular group as well. So this is how you can actually collaborate among your team members. So if you have a departmental group in Teams, you can always create a planner and you can actually assign tasks and check all the updates through the chart view and everything. So it looks more organized for us to see, right? That's how we can actually utilize planner on a personal use or in a Teams group. Okay. So what else we have here? So that I missed out, we created a plan, right? So these are the plans that we have, all these plans. And then under my task, so these are the tasks that assigned to me, right? And then we have private tasks, which is only I know that all these tasks under me. Assigned to me is coming from a particular plan or particular group, right? And then flag email. So all these are basically flag emails. So whenever you flag an email from your Outlook, basically it will add under your My Task as well. So it will add under flag email, right? So once you unflag it, basically it will change to completed, right? It will just uncheck entirely. So sometimes we might miss out, we might not unflag it, right? So it won't complete until now. So that's how we can actually flag our emails and make it as a task. So it's a auto thing. So the moment you flag your email, it will go to flag email. So for example, let's just try one something quickly. So let's just So just now we had this look component. Let's just flag it and then go and check under flag email. Give it a refresh. Haven't had yet. See, so still haven't had yet. So might take some time. So let's just wait and see. Give it a refresh one more time and see whether it's there or not. It's not added yet. It just takes some time now. But then whatever that we flag over there, so it will automatically move it out to flag email. So all right. Assigned to me as usual, like I mentioned earlier, and also private tasks. And if you want to view everything, so you can view all here, right? Okay, all right. So under my day, you can see basically all the projects that we completed and also assigned to me is already added under my day. So I can see how many tasks are left and how many completed and stuff, right? All right. So that's on how planners can be integrated within our teams and also for our individual usage, right? So that's the two-way of planner. So compared to Loop, so I would say compared to Loop, I prefer Loop. Like if you guys prefer Planner because it can be added inside Microsoft Teams, then that's for you, right? So for me, I prefer Loop. So because it's better to have a separate platform for a specific tracker, so we don't get things, you know, mixed up in one place. So now you can see the flag emails are under my task, right? Under my day already. So this is one of the tasks that I need to do. Now let's go and look at flag email. So now you can see flag email is already there, right? It just takes some time for it to update. Okay. So now let's move back to our slide. So use cases are done, right? So now we have so basically integrating Microsoft Planner with Teams. So this is what we did, right? So you can see direct integration with Microsoft Teams channel. So yes, you can add into multiple channels. So it's not like limitations to one or two channels. You can add multiple planners. That's why you can see there's a lot of this for me, right? So, and then basically enables task management within the team conversation. Yes, you can have a conversation, right? Usually in the teams. So you can start from there and then quick updates and progress. Yes. So you can barely move out. You don't have to move out from Microsoft application, right? So you might be on Teams and you can just do everything on Teams. You don't have to go to another browser, right? So, and then we have overall team productivity and also utilization chat features for task discussion. Yes, you have chat features over there as well. And and one more thing I would like to share as well. Um, Under bot view, right? So you can basically, like I mentioned, you can repeat and everything. And basically, you can add notes as well. So you can add notes basically if it, let's say there's some difficulties you are facing. So you can just leave a note there so somebody else can view it, or you can actually attach some screenshots you have taken. You can actually attach and leave a comment. So basically, it will, let's say if your HOD leaves a comment saying that, okay, you can do try this way or stuff like that. So you will get a email notification saying that there's someone commented on your task, right? So I couldn't do that, but then that's how it works actually. So you can attach and also leave a comment or notes in a specific task as well, right? The integration is done. So as a conclusion, Planner is a vital for effective task management. Yeah, and basically to maximize your utilization in 365, right? So as usual, adoption feeds to improve organizational efficiencies. So basically, Planner is a good way for you to start uh, utilizing to keep track all the daily tasks or maybe longer task planner of project trackers and stuff like that. So it's based like if you ask me like the applications of Microsoft it allow us to use based on our own creativity. So we have like we might have some plan. Okay, I need uh, to use this planner or loop in this kind of way. So you can actually customize or utilize on your own way, like how you want to use it and stuff like that, right? So yeah, so that's as a conclusion on planner. So we are now it's 11 o'clock, so we have two more to go. So I think we are on track of on timing. So next up, we will be actually going on Microsoft Forms actually, right? So Microsoft Forms. I let me just take a breather, and I hope I'm not too fast for you guys as well, right? So we have Microsoft Forms here. So surveys and quizzes in Microsoft Forms. So last time I'm not sure because maybe I'm too young. Maybe you guys might be familiar with a lot of forms and everything, right? So last time, as I remember, Microsoft has templates to create surveys or feedbacks and those kind of things. Like we can create our own questionnaires and kind of things. But then recently, I've seen some changes where Microsoft also has templates for quizzes where there's some English quizzes, there's some grammar quizzes and stuff like that. It's quite fun to see, like Microsoft trying to give those kind of forms as well, right? So if let's say you are doing some lectures or training, I mean, like teaching some students or what. So you can actually like don't have to think much if you want to do some quizzes. You can use forms to Microsoft already gives some questions like that, 10 questions or something you need to add if you need more, right? So we'll show all those things. So as an overview, what's Microsoft Forms? So Microsoft Form is an tool for data collection. So like any feedback data collections and stuff like that, right? So real-time analytics help in making informed decisions and also seamless integration. Yes. So any Microsoft apps, right? So Microsoft main goal is they want to integrate all their apps so that it can talk to each other. So Microsoft Forms is basically a standalone browser application or you can actually integrate forms into the Teams channel, or you can open from Microsoft Teams itself. So Teams is actually the core platform, like I mentioned in our previous training, right, on our webinar. So Teams is a core platform. So within Teams, there's all the Microsoft application, right? So what's the key features of Forms? Basically, it's a user-friendly interface. So as usual, it's quite easy to go through the process and the settings, right? And we will get real-time responses tracking from users and stuff like that, right? So support branching logic and tailored experience stuff, right? So benefits of having Microsoft Forms basically enhance collaborations, saves time, right? You can actually create a form and you pass the link to someone, and if let's say a number of people are inside that group, you can just pass the link and ask them to fill up the question. So you don't have to do your talking. Instead of that, you can actually collect all the data or information using a form, right? So it saves a lot of time. You don't have to like go and tell them, okay, now I need you guys to key in your name, your address, your details, all these details, and send it over to me. You don't have to do all the things. You just click one time, and then you just send it to them and say, fill out the form, finish. So it saves a lot of time for you guys, right? And then encourage participation through engaging formats. So yeah, and there's different formats there. So use cases. So as usual, like we mentioned, feedback gathering. You can see conducting quizzes and assessments, right? And then event registration. So like even our event registration, the QR code that you scan and everything is coming from Microsoft Forms and all the things, right? Right? And you key in your details and stuff, right? So tracking customer satisfaction. So yeah, that's how I mean, like, what are the things we can use for Microsoft Forms? So now let's dive into Forms, right? So same thing, all the applications can be accessed from here, right? From your portal and then go to Forms. So we will go through and see like how we can create and also how to use the templates and how to do the settings and stuff, right? We can't get the um, tracking can tracking to be done immediately because I don't have anyone to scan and also submit the form, for testing, right? So we will go through on how to create and also how to manage and also how to work on the settings and how to publish it. So that's the process of forms here. So as usual, so you can see there's explore template, right? So you can hide template or you can just expand it, right? You can see there's template gallery here. So there's a lot. So there's trending templates. So Microsoft gives you what's in trending at the moment. And then you can actually see what else you have. Like for example, organize a successful event. So these are the forms. And then if let's say you want to gain insight through a user research, so these are the forms. So they have plenty of forms there, right? Okay, so here we're gonna go and then you can see there's plenty of forms that we have created, right? Okay, so new form. So if let's say you have forms from different platforms, you can try to upload, you can import it over here and see whether it matches your previous settings and all those things or not. So you have new so this new form that I've created, right? So new form. So since I have Copilot, right? So draft with Copilot, so I can describe what I like to create, and the Copilot will actually create it for me. So it's actually quite fun. I can actually show you guys a glimpse of how Copilot use can be effective as well together in this training, right? So if let's say I would like to do a um, please create how to say um, form to uh, register football playing. So let's see what it gives. it's something quite interesting when like we find it interesting when we talk to someone, right? So that's how I feel when I talk to Copilot as well. Like when I talk to Copilot, like I want to do something. So this like when we ask something for it to do. So football player registration, so full name, date of birth, position. So you can see whether they are goalkeeper and all those things, right? And then preferred code, right, left, both, and then contact number, email address, upload profile picture. So you can see in a glimpse, it already create what are the required details, right, that I need. So in case from here, let's say I would like to add more, or I want to delete something. So I can actually do it so, right? So it always asks you whether you like it or not, whether you want to keep it or not, right? If let's say you are okay with it, you can just choose keep it, right? So you can see for proper registration and all those things, right? So add new question or add the copilot, right? So you can see I have 4 suggestions to your form. You can actually view details. So optimize form settings for user convenience. So refine question for clarity and also relevance. Apply a relevant theme to match a form. Boost your response. Let's just click on it. So you can set an end date. So basically, whatever we are doing on the settings portion, Copilot is actually already asking me, you need to do all these things, right? So I can choose a set end time. Okay, end date and time. Okay, right. Okay, all right. And then that's fine. Send a receipt respond, let respond. Okay, apply. So that's fine. So now refine question for clarity, right? So ensure questions are clear. Yeah, apply. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So apply relevant theme. So it gives you a proper theme. So if, let's say it requires anything for you, you can just select, right? Just use it, right? Looks nice. So as a background, that's what we're going to use. So now you can see all are applied, applied, applied. And then boost, besides using link, Copilot suggests maximizing it. So reach out with teams for quick responses and easy reminder. Or share your team's link anywhere to reach more people. So it's up to you how you want to utilize it. So whether it's within your organization or maybe outside your organization. It depends on how you want to use it, right? So you can actually copy link, right? And then you can just sharing method. So if you choose more sharing method, it shows you like what are the sharing methods that you have. So you can shorten the URL and then you can copy the link and then basically you have QR code scan as well, right? So you can send this barcode to anyone so they can fill up the form using scanning this code stuff, right? So this is the way that I was mentioning that we have plenty of ways that we can share, right, through settings. So only people in VLAN can respond, right? Specific people in VLAN. So anyone can respond is basically um, file upload is only available when only people. Okay. Okay. So basically anyone can respond is actually not enabled at the moment. So we can actually enable it and disable it anytime, right? Let's close it. Okay, fine. All good. Okay, all right. So these are all the questions and everything, right? So this is the view. So and the questions how it will look like. So you have templates over here as well. So in case, so this is basically what we create in a glimpse, right? So we create it on our own. So we can still do the styling, so layouts and stuff like that. How the layout should look like? Can be like this, can be like this, right? So it depends what type of layout that you prefer, right? And then there's some suggestions as well for the stylings and all. So it's up to you whether you like to use it or not. And then under settings, so who can fill up the form? Basically, only people in my organization. So one response per time, right? And then you can choose option for responses, accept responses, end date, start date, end date. So you can set all these settings here, right? Allow respondents to save their responses so they can actually save once they submit it, right? And then allow respondent to edit their responses. So would you like to allow them to edit once they submit? If you allow them, then you can actually enable this. If not, then you can just disable them, right? So that's the settings portion. So preview. So this is how the computer view will look like. So in case they gonna submit the form using their computer. So this is the view they're gonna have. So once they start new, they will go to this page to submit. So if they are using mobile, so this is how the view will look like for them, right? They are using mobile, right? So that's the preview, and then now collect responses. So collect responses is basically it sends lah. Basically, we can enable. I mean, like send this over Teams meeting only or Outlook, so we can send it over to anyone within VLAN, right? So we're not gonna send. So this is how we can see the responses from here. So how many responses we have and average time that they took to give their feedback, and also the duration, like how many days it took for everyone. I mean, like since we publish the form, right? Okay, so that's how we can actually create a quick one with forms, right? Now let's look at how we can create quizzes. So there's new quizzes, right? New quiz, and then there's template, or you can use Copilot. So earlier we already used Copilot. Now we're not going to use Copilot, right? But that's how clever Copilot is. Like the moment you pitch your ideas to Copilot, it will basically create all the slides and the slides, or maybe all the forms or everything. So that's the benefit of Copilot. So yeah, we will actually plan out a session where we can actually show all the Copilot, what it can done and so on. So yeah, you can actually guys learn a lot from that. And maybe if you're interested, you can actually always subscribe to Copilot, right? So we do sell Copilot licenses, right? Okay, so now under quizzes, so there's five at the moment. So you can see what are the quizzes? So you can see music post class homework, English grammar test, so English grammar test. So let's just use that template, right? So test is 100 points, right? And then student information, and then student ID, course name, and then there's section one. So you can see there's entire questions there. So there's 16 questions there. Okay, so if let's say we would like to add more, we can actually draft it through Copilot, or you can add it on your own. But then there's almost 16 questions that already created. So all the questions are actually common questions, right? So you can see this. He walked. So this is the correct answer through the door, right? There's 5 points and stuff like that. So before we create, we submit. It will show all the right answers, right? So once we submit, basically, it will not show the right answers to them. But then that's how it works. Like I believe you guys have been used it as well. So you can see how cool the templates are, right? You can provide the styling, right? You can use the different styling. So just now we use that. So maybe now we use English grammar test, and then can create different so English grammar test, something like this. So there's live, I mean like a video kind of thing, right? That's for styling. All these are suggestions based on the topics, right? So background music. So you can even add music as a background music, right? So we will go with settings. So similar to this, so practice mode. So option for quiz. So this is only for quizzes, lah. So there's practice mode, so where they can practice first, right? And then there's also show results automatically, right? So it depends whether you would like to show them the result or you don't want to show them the result, right? And then who can fill this form, so anyone can respond. So all these are actually depends on the file. Just now we cannot um, select that particular anyone can respond, but here we can do that. So it depends. But then if we create it from scratch, then it's our job whether we want to allow them or not, right? So anyone can respond. So basically, accept responses, options for responses, and then start date and date. So similarly, what we saw earlier, so exactly same thing under the settings for responses. Okay, all right. So exactly same thing under computers, and also we have mobile, right? So from here, we can actually choose start now and then go for the questions, right? So it's not very difficult to create form. It's very easy. Like even you guys have been might be using it for quite some time, right? So and then we have view responses as usual, right? So that's how we can actually create forms and also quizzes from the web portal. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at how we can actually add forms to a group. So earlier we add planner here, right, called project tracker. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at forms. Okay, so that's interesting. I can add forms as well. All right. So am I gonna create a shared form or am I gonna add an existing one? So I'm gonna add an existing one. So let's see what else we have. So we have registration, and then so these are the one that we just created recently. So I can see all those under existing forms. So I'm gonna add this football player registration, and I'm gonna collect responses. So fill, and it shows football player registration, right? So under general, basically it's a added a tab at the top of the channel. Check it out. So yeah, fill. So basically, anyone from this group now can just go and fill up this form, right? For example, let's just fill up this form on my own, right? Share. Okay, date of birth. Okay, so let me just put an. Oop, oop. Okay, can I just write it down? Okay, so month, and then date, and then year. Okay, I'm not gonna put my actual year. Okay, I'm just gonna put my actual year here. So okay, not 9, it's 8. Okay, okay, all right. So I'm gonna choose position. Okay, choose both. Okay, contact number 00011229999. Okay, okay, contact number, location, yeah, okay, and then upload the file. So basically for profile picture, you can not have any question, so you can upload a file. So I'll just choose like just upload something we have. There's nothing to upload. Okay, so if I submit, I cannot submit because I have to upload something. So that's something I cannot do at the moment. So yeah, I thought of checking out the responses. Okay, that's fine. All right, so pretty cool. So that's how we can actually add a form to our tab, right? So you can open this tab in new window, expand tab, reload, open in browser, or you can even rename it. So instead of field football player registration, you can just give it a different name, forms or something, right? So that's how you can add an existing form into Microsoft Teams, right? So that's the seamless integration with Microsoft Teams, where if you let's say you are trying to collect any responses within your organization, right? So this is the best way. So you might be having an all staff department, right? So inside that all stuff, you can just upload the form, and then everyone can come and actually fill up the form. So you don't have to like um, send to each and every individual and stuff like that. So it that's where Microsoft says it reduce your time, right? You can reduce a lot of time. You don't have to worry about like oh, I have to go and send an email to each individual asking them to fill up, or I have to go after them asking them to fill up. You don't have to worry about it, right? So that's on form on Microsoft Teams and also on the web base, right? So you can share it to anyone to respond to that form, or you can actually send it to the internal people only to respond. You can share it through link. You can make it as a QR code for anyone to scan. So there's a lot of different features that you can utilize in forms, right? Okay. So as a conclusion, yeah, powerful tool for data collection. Yes, it is very good tool for us to collect any data like feedbacks or forms. I mean, like any surveys kind of things, right? So it's user friendly, like you saw. It's quite easy. It's just you just need to complete three steps. First is create a new form, right? So basically create all the details. You set up your styling, and then you basically uh, styling and settings, and then you publish it. So these are the three main steps that you're going to do on forms, right? And then various features enhance collaboration. Yeah, there's a lot of features inside there. So like the additional feature, the advanced feature, like we saw, if you have a co-pilot license, so basically you can get it a lot of things done seamlessly, very soon. So even all these um slides, right? Basically, I prepared using Copilot. So it helps me like whatever I ask, it helps me to prepare all the slides and everything. So it's quite useful and fast. My job is to just check whether the data input or the structures, everything is fine or not, whether it's correct, it's relevant to the users or not. That's the only thing I have to check, right? So we're at the last topic on our session. Then we will go through on some of the questions, and also we will have some forms, I mean, like for you to scan and also submit some forms. Yeah. So enhancing approval efficiency with Microsoft Power Automate. So basically we wanted to show you guys how approval works along with Power Automate. But then what I thought is I will show what is approval separately, and then I will show what Power Automate can be done in overall. So we will look at it general because I was actually thinking like if we want to talk about Power Automate in depth, we will require at least a separate session for Power Automate itself. So here I will show you guys. So whatever we promise, we will definitely show you guys. So we will talk about approval, what is approval and how it can be done and how good it is, and then we will look at as the overall what is Power Automate. So it's a I would say it's a glimpse for our upcoming session lah, what Power Automate can be done. So Power Automate can be I mean can be integrated with Loop, Planner, Forms, Approval. So it's like one man show with all the applications in Microsoft, right? So let's go into approval. So what is approval? Okay, so it's a approval workflow across departments. So yeah, you might be thinking the name is approval and you are talking about approval with the same name. Okay, so just forget about the slide. So approval is basically a tool whereby you can request um, anything to any of your higher level managers or head of departments or anyone to approve something that you have asked, right? It can be your leave, it can be for a quotation, it can be for um, any sort of addition or removal or kind of thing. So there's a lot of things can be done, right? So it's basically asking for approval, and approve or reject, it's up to them. We can't do anything about that. So we can ask approval, and even with approval, so what they can do is basically they can use their e-signature to sign a document as well. So that's the best part of approval here, right? All right. So overview of approval basically automates approval request and notification. Yes, and easy to set up and customize with specific needs. And part of the Power Automate ecosystem to workflow automation. So we can perform automations from Power Automate with approvals as well. Okay. Key features of Microsoft Approval. So basically, it's real-time notification. So somebody mention you in approval, you get notification. If somebody approves it, you get notifications, kind of things. So templates for common approval process. So there's templates. So Microsoft is very generous with templates. They always give templates and ideas for you, right? And tracking, and also you will have functionality for approval, right? So benefits of using approval, if you ask me, um, it is easy for you to keep track, like what you are asking and whether it's approved or not, right? So you can't. It's not a verbal approval. It's a printed approval where you can even download it as a PDF. So it's to be on the safe side as well, right? So it says enhanced accountability. So that's what I've mentioned here, to be on the safe side with clear tracking. So you can track and be, you know, take accountability of the specific action items, right? So improve team collaboration through shared visibility. So some use cases. So basically document approval, like I mentioned, you can approve a quotation or expense reimbursement or budget approval. Yes. So project related approvals. Yeah. For us, we use it for license approvals. So so we have multiple layers in our support team, like level one, level two, and so on. So level one users, they cannot add the annual licenses and kind of thing because it's related to money. So what they have to do, they have to request to the approval process, and also it will notify the person that has access to the annual license edition. So they will add and approves it. So the user, I mean, like the level one support basically replies to the customer. So that's our process here for annual licenses. So now let's look at approval. Okay. So this one will be slightly different. Okay. Why there's no application for approval? I typed something wrong. So I only see Power Ads and also something else. Why there's no approval? Okay. The answer is approval does not have any web-based browser. Okay. Approval is an application that's solely connected to Microsoft Teams only, right? So we go to Microsoft Teams and then click on this three dot and then select for, like look for approvals. Okay. So it is only available in Teams. There's nothing else that you can find, nowhere else that you can find approval, right? So it is only available in Microsoft Teams. All right. So let's dive into this. So, like I mentioned, all these are actually um, our previously tested. So I mostly use it for testing purposes, right? So that's why you can see there's a lot of testing, right? So last time when I was in level one support as well, so this is one of the process that I used to go through as well. So in my beginning years in VLAN, so I had my project lead and also I have my managers. Only they have access, right, to approvals. I mean, like to add edit. I mean, like the annual licenses. So what I have to do, I have to go through the process whereby I request new approval. So this approval thingy came somewhere around 3 to 4 years back, 4 years back, right? So when they came up with this idea, so there was only one option, which is basic request. You can't even perform e-signature, but then approval actually got a lot of attention from Microsoft users, and there was some kind of petition was going on for e-signature, which Microsoft quickly integrated e-signatures inside approvals. So which is they come up with Adobe Sign and also DocuSign. If you have an account with Adobe Sign and also DocuSign, you will be able to sign in and also merge those e-signature platform with approvals, right? All right. So you can see this is actually CSS team. So our customer service support team. So all these three templates is actually created by our own. So we need our own templates. So for like I mentioned, if you want to add an annual license, so this is the process you have to go through. So you have to again, you have to provide a name of the request. So this is the approvers by default. So my manager and also my lead here, project lead, right? So this is the approval by default, right? And then we have to provide the customer name who is required this license to be added on, and then we have to provide the ticket number, right? So that they can actually verify whether the license really they needed, I mean, like need to be added today, or whether the proper documentation is assigned and signed and everything or not. So we have to put the ticket number and then what is the license required. So what type of license, business basic, standard, premium, what is the license type, and then the number of licenses, the quantity. So once we submit it, what happens is that it will be sent to the approvers, right? So all these are my testings. Okay, so you can see ATP plan one. So you can see, so this is how it looks like. So I add all the details and everything. So you can see no responses from Prakash, but then it was approved by Pranav. So it's even though there's two approver, it doesn't require both of them to actually approve it. So either one of them approve will do actually. So you can see there's admin approve and then the request was done by Nina. So now I can actually save as PDF as well. So if I save as PDF, let's look at it. How so you can see approval. So this is how it looks like. So all the requesters and everything, right? So all the information are inside. Okay, right. So that's how we can actually save it as a PDF, right? Okay. So if let's say you would like to create a new um, approval within your organization, right? So you can use this. So start with a popular template. You can use this as a leave or business trip, work from home, vehicle application, right? So if you let's say you want to create new, if you want to look at new templates, so you can see other new templates as well. So there's a lot. Last time there was none actually. So now there's a lot of templates here. But if let's say you don't want to use template, you want to create it from scratch, you can go ahead, create it from scratch, and then organization wide. So organization wide basically is for the entire organization. So all specific people or team wide for specific team, you can actually customize that, right? So just gonna go with one template and also one we will create it as a new one. So as a template, we'll just go with leave. So this is the leave type. So annual, sick, rent, maternity, paternity, marriage. There's a lot of type of leaves inside there. And then start date, end date, and then you can put your remark and then send it over, right? So similar to what business trip. So you have reason, start date, and end date. So departure, destination, transportation, trips, all this information you have to key in, right? So you can actually go through on the templates like before you add in. So let's just create something from scratch. So template name. So this is actually template that we're gonna build for our company. So what we're gonna create, maybe we're gonna create something called what we can create um training. So training. So category. So is it an activity, attendance, finance, order management, others? So it's gonna be an activity lah. Put it as activity. So description, any new client, fire training, please do submit or date approval. Okay. So just to lock the date, you have to send me an approval lah. So if I approve it, that means that particular date is available for me, and we can go ahead. All right. So form design. So what we're gonna choose? We're gonna choose text this, right? Question is client name, right? So it's basically a required, and then the next one gonna be date. Uh, so maybe you can use the training date, the required as well, and then what else we need? So we need the client's name, we need the date, and then we need number of packs. Number of packs, right? So required as well. Okay. So that's about it. Okay, so next one we just put it and then delete it. Okay. So these are the three questions that someone that wants to engage with me, right? They have to do that. And then file attachment, does it require approval section? So who's gonna be approver? Let requester enter or specify approval. So I'm gonna specify the approver. So people in the list. So Kishan will be the approver. So I'm the only approver. Or if let's say there's multiple orders, so for example, you might have structures like this, whereby first you might say first it must go to HOD, then HOD must approve, then it goes to manager, then manager approve, then only it comes back. So in that scenario, you can put require response in assigned order, right? So specific people, location, and then maybe I'll put number one and add another. Number two is basically specific people, and then I put Uday. Okay, so he is my HOD. So this is the process will be. So first Kishan needs to approve, and then it goes to Uday. So then once Uday approved, then only basically the approval is approved entirely, right? So comment required. Yeah, we can enable it. So now we can actually preview it. Let's see how it looks like. So name of the request, and this is the name of the request, and then this is the approvers. So you can put your client name and the date and number of packs, and then you can submit it. So this is the template lah. So looks good. So we can just publish this, right? So it's already published, right? So now let's go and get the okay. So the status is enabled, so you can disable it if let's say you're no longer gonna use it, right? So now let's try. Approval. Now you can see organization wide. I have training here, right? So it's instantly added. Now I'm gonna choose this training, and you can see the entire thing, right? So that's how we can actually create our own template with our own ideas, right? For approvals. So if let's say it is something that requires an e-signature or adopt sign, you can always select that. So we are not gonna select that. We don't have that accounts to do the testings and everything. But then it is actually tested for our different customers for them to do that because they have the accounts they wanted to do the testing. So you just need to sign in with your DocuSign account, and the e-signature platform will actually integrate within approval automatically, right? So that's how you can actually create approval, right? So you can see DocuSign, you have to sign in, or you can start a free account as well to test it out, right? Adopt sign, and then there's new SharePoint e-signature. So this is something we have to learn more because request activities will appear here. So this is something a new feature that has been added. So yeah, so we need to do more of our R&Ds and what is SharePoint e-signature. Maybe it requires a different license and from Microsoft and stuff like that, right? Okay, so pretty much that's how approval works as a standalone. So you can create and send, and they can approve or reject, and you can save as a PDF. And you can even use the e-signature platform to sign any approval and save it as a PDF, right? So it's pretty cool and powerful tool to use. All right. So use cases is done. So now integrating approval with Power Automate. So basically, we are not going to integrate approval. So we're gonna look at it as an overall picture. So in our upcoming webinar, we're gonna talk more of our of Power Automate, what it can done. So basically, Power Automate, just look at it as a general. So complex workflow, we can leverage complex workflows from multiple applications, right? Even Outlook, your emails or sort of things, right? So connect with other applications for broader functionality. Yes, other applications, and then we can customize with triggers, right? So best practices on the implementation. So define clear process before setup. So we must have an idea what we want to achieve, right? And then train users on features and functions, like how it works and how what you can expect from these flows and stuff like that, right? So as a conclusion, approval can actually enhance efficiency, support collaboration across your team's platform and everything. So we are done with our presentation, right? So I'm just gonna show you guys as the additional features like what Power Automate has for 5 minutes. Then we will actually go for Q&A, right? Okay, so Power Automate. So how do you open Power Automate? As usual, from here you can go Power and select Power Automate, right? So you have Power Automate here. Just give it a refresh. See. Okay. So like I mentioned, Microsoft always have their templates there. So you don't have to worry. You just need to connect few things and it's done. Right? So the first thing, my flow. So what we have in my flow? So create a Microsoft to do business. So that's the activity. So it's quite some time before I did that. So now it's already suspended. Right? Okay. So if let's say we would like to create a new flow using a template. So you can see all the templates here. So you can see save email attachment from Outlook to Dropbox and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of things there, right? We can do from Outlook. So if let's say if you choose topic, you can see follow up on a message, schedule a reply, save message to OneNote, right? Create a planner task when a channel post starts with to do. So when there's to do name, it must do this, right? Notify a team when planner task change status. So not only that, so even if let's say you type approval, right? So and then enter. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of things here. Send form responses for approval, start an approval for new email to move it to a different folder. So basically when somebody is trying to move a folder from this SharePoint to a new folder, it automatically generates an approval. So once the person approves it, then only the folder will actually move to a different folder. So there's a lot of complex automations can be done, right? So we're not gonna do any automations today, right? Have like templates, and also if you would like to create a new flow, so you can create a new flow using this. When a new response is submitted on forms, you have to do this, right? So recently there was one testing that we have done, whereby when there is the email comes in uh, with attachment, and the attachment's name, I mean like the file's name has this name called quote, right? Quotation, right? So when you identify that particular name, you have to move the attachment to a different SharePoint, this particular SharePoint. That's kind of automations that we have done, right? So it's quite interesting and cool. So stay tuned for our updates. So when we have our next session, we will actually go through on more on Power Automate, like what are the process can be done, a workflow, like I mentioned, the quotation, the word, how to get an email attachment to a different folder. So we will do that, and we will try to look at some scenarios or use cases using Power Automate that will be beneficial for the environment, for maybe finance department and IT department and sort of things. So we will actually cover a lot of Power Automate things on the next session, because now it's almost 11:40, so we have to go for Q&A. If I go and start one Power Automate, it's gonna cost us a lot of time here, right? So yeah, so it's not an end of series here. So, like I mentioned, we have multiple Microsoft series, right? So, this will be our next topic that we're gonna touch base and see what we have in Microsoft, right? Okay, so okay, let me stop the sharing. Okay, let's see what we have in questions or chat Q&A sessions. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. So there's plenty of questions. All right. Okay, so let's if you have any question, okay. There's one question. When does using loop make more sense than just dumping everything to Word doc instead? When does using loop make sense than just dumping everything into a Word doc or Teams chat? So basically, like if you ask me, when it makes sense, like make more sense instead of dumping a Word document or Teams chat. If you ask me, it is actually in a lot of scenarios. Like for me, to keep track, if let's say you, okay, so if you put it in a Word document, right? Um, it's gonna be a lot of work. We have to create our tables. We have to do upload to OneDrive or SharePoint so that it will keep syncing, right? And there's a lot of files that we are managing. So we have to remember where's the location, what type of file we are working on, right? So the name and everything. So Teams chat, okay. Teams chat is always sensitive. When it comes to Teams chat, if somebody asks me, I will always recommend don't keep these kind of trackers or any folders inside Teams chat because you might be find it easier when you upload a certain things in Teams chat. But then where does it go? Whether is it safe to be there? So we have to think about that. So that's something I've covered in my last section as well. So I'll just explain a bit why Teams chat is not really recommended because the moment you upload a file inside Teams chat, it goes to your OneDrive. Okay, your OneDrive. So when it goes to your OneDrive, you are sharing from your OneDrive to the specific user. Okay. So what happens to the file if you leave the organization? Because you are owner of the file, because the file is inside your OneDrive. So once you leave the organization and your license will be utilized for different users. So the moment that thing happened, and after a certain period of time, all your OneDrive data and emails will be gone. So once deleted, and suddenly they want to open that particular file, they cannot open it because you are the owner and there's no longer a license in your account. So that's why it doesn't make sense for me, and it's not the best practice for us to keep any sensitive files or project characters kind of files, anything inside Teams chat. So don't do that. Okay. All right. So just answered that. Then let's see. Is this forms only targeted for those who are within Teams ecosystem, or can we also open to those who are not? Okay, yes, it can be open to anyone. So basically, whoever opens with the link. So make sure we choose the settings for anyone to basically respond, right? So people without even having a Microsoft account can submit a form actually using their Gmail account. They can just sign in and just submit it, right? So choose the setting for anyone to respond. People without having Microsoft account and submit as well, right? Okay, then what else we have? Yeah, can we share the forms to external parties, other email domain example? Yes, yes, can share. So basically, it can be shared. So as long as you select anyone can respond. So basically, you can just copy the link or the QR code and then give it to the specific user. So it doesn't matter they are from any environment. You just need to email them the link or you just pass them the link and they can just submit the form. So it's not necessarily the people, the guy must be using Microsoft. It's not necessary. Because even our attendees are not everyone might be using Microsoft. Maybe they saw our flyers or maybe they saw our postings that we are organizing this event. So they will just register to the form using their whatever account they have. Right? Okay, right. So that's done. All right. And then uh, Tim, can I trigger an email or Teams notification every time someone submits a form? Yes, yes, definitely can. Yes, can trigger that using Power Automate. Yes, we can do using Power Automate. So using like for the existing form, if let's say somebody sends a response or something, we can trigger an email. Let me just quickly have a look at it. Anyone can respond. Uh, uh, okay, so maybe I missed out to just show that. So yeah, so just a quick one. So I share my screen again. So on the, if you can see on the forms, right, on the settings page, all the way at the bottom, you can select get email notification of each responses. So you can select the email addresses. So that particular person will get email notification for every responses they get, right? So think about, all right, so let's go. Yes, configure by actually enabling by enabling email notification from forms settings. Yep. Okay, so we have another question. What's the easiest way to set up an approval flow for leave request? What's the easiest way to set up approval flow for? Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, like I showed a demo, right? How we can customize and create our own flow there. You can actually select the template they have for leave request, right? So they already select like add inside there, like whether it's a maternity leave or whether it's a sick leave or annual leave or kind of things, right? So you can even add an approver inside there who will be the approver as well, or you can let the user itself to select so that because different department has different approvers, right? So as an admin, you can create a template and then like I showed earlier, when we choose the approvals, right? Basically it has like two options there where we can select specific users, and also there's another option where let users select. So when if I'm submitting a leave, I know who's my HOD and this is the person that need to approve. So I will type his name and send the approval to that specific person. So that way, it's actually by using the template is the most easiest way. If you are not really familiar to how to create using the templates on your own, then you can actually use the predefined templates. Uh, all right. So all right. So pretty much those are the things I can see and publish. Did I miss that? So I hope I did not miss out any of your responses or questions here. So let me just see. All right. I think pretty much that's all. Maya, if you have anything anything to share or you are, yeah, go ahead. So, yep, that's all from my side. All right. Okay, I think pretty much that's all. Okay, thank you so much for your attendance. All right. I hope it's a good learning for you guys. Thank you so much.